If you had a narcissistic mom like me, you didn't just learn to read energy, you had to. And I say this as someone who studies trauma, neuropsychology, and psychic development for a living. A lot of intuitive women aren't just gifted, they're trauma trained. And here's what no one tells you. When you grow up in emotional chaos, your nervous system gets stuck in hypervigilance, which means your amygdala in your brain, that part of your brain that detects threats, is always constantly scanning for danger. And your prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for logic and decision making, goes completely offline. And that's where in childhood, intuition starts developing due to survival pattern recognition. And you start decoding tones of voice, micro expressions, and even subtle shifts in the energy in a room before anyone even speaks. And you build an internal catalog of what feels like danger, what looks like abandonment, and what sounds like love but isn't. And that's not just anxiety, that's your limbic system activation. And essentially that's your brain saying, we've been here before, we've experienced this before, and last time it really hurt. And guess what? That's the system that most people call psychic. And this may be triggering, but hear me out. If you're intuitive, empathic, and spiritually in tune, but you still have low self-trust, relationship anxiety, and decision fatigue, you're not just intuitive, you're trauma bonded to your own fear response. And that's not a spiritual awakening, that's unhealed attachment wounding. But here's the controversial truth. Trauma may have awakened your psychic sensitivity, but healing is what turns it into power. And until you feel safe in your body, you'll continue to confuse survival instincts with intuitive guidance. You'll keep calling it a download when it's really hyper-awareness. You'll keep waiting for signs because you don't trust your own inner knowing. I was born psychic, but I was also emotionally manipulated, gaslit, neglected, and overcorrected until my nervous system became an antenna, which actually made me more psychic. But rewiring my brain and healing my trauma is what makes me accurate. So if you're really intuitive, but always second guess yourself, if your gut says one thing, but then your body spirals, if you're drawn to spiritual growth, but avoid your own emotions, you don't need more crystals. You need nervous system regulation and psychic safety. You need to unlearn the belief that intuition has to hurt first.